you be a leader. Hey, how are you? Congratulations.
Hello, everybody.
Great son. I'm very proud of you.
It is great to see you. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Foley. I'm the head of school here at MPH Baccalaureate School, and welcome to MPH's annual Baccalaureate ceremony. It is so good to have you here tonight. Baccalaureate ceremonies are wonderful events, and they take many shapes and forms at different institutions. However, one characteristic they all share is that they represent more than just an occasion to hand out awards for recognition. A baccalaureate is primarily an occasion for celebration and reflection. One of those key moments that we should all seize to pause, take stock, and appreciate the journey that has taken us to this moment before we step across its threshold into a new era in our lives. Here at MPH, we do hand out awards in this ceremony, but we also take the full measure of that reflective occasion to celebrate each and every single student in the remarkable class of 2024. And while we are eager to share our appreciations and memories of every one of them, we are also pleased to let the representatives of the class of 24 speak for themselves. So, please join me in first welcoming to the stage our National Honor Society President, Tim Heaney.
Good evening, parents, teachers, fellow classmates, and friends. Thank you all for being here. First and foremost, I would like to thank my brother Shuchang and my sister Jenny. It is safe to say that without my brother's dedication and support, I would not have been where I am today. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to my father, who gave me and my sister and I, the opportunity to study in the States. In case you guys didn't know, I was born in China, where I lived until I was 13 years old. When I moved to the States in 2019, I attended a large public school with around 400 kids in a grade. Quickly, in freshman year, I found myself at odds with the stressful nature of an academic and competitive high school, which focused on producing Ivy League students with minimal attention to each individual. It wasn't until I came here that I experienced things differently. I first stepped on the MPH campus a little under 2 years ago for an 8 a.m. cross-country practice. After 2 mile repeats, I threw up on the upper field. Yet despite my strange first impression, I was welcomed by the rest of the team like an old friend. In many ways, this was my experience for the remaining times here. People were kind, easygoing, respectful, and most importantly, caring. As I went on with school, I realized another change within me. The general learning experience has transformed from a sake of college admission to a period of self-improvement, whether it is in the form of joining a new sports team like basketball and soccer, or taking different classes like computer science or AI. MPH has allowed me to freely develop many passions of mine that led to the sense of happiness I've been experiencing for the past and a half year. However, that is not to say my time here at MPH did not present me with challenges. Like many of us here, there were times where I felt stressed with school and sports. But the reason I never felt overwhelmed was because of how understanding the teachers are. They were always there during tutorials to guide me through questions and gave me the extensions I needed to maintain a healthy sleep schedule. And for that, I am infinitely grateful. As I stand here today, I can't help but reflect on all the fond memories I've gained ever since arriving here. Whether it's playing basketball in the gym, or running across the nature trail, or chatting in the library. These are the small things I've learned to enjoy and appreciate, and are some memories that I will carry with me for a long time. Memories that were only possible because of everyone in the crowd here today. Lastly, I would like to end my speech with a thank you to my teachers, family, friends, and my fellow class of 2024 classmates. It has been a truly impactful year. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Our second speaker is our Student Council President. Please welcome to the stage, Nathan Rubin.
Alright, hello everyone. Before I get started, I thought it was only right that I say thanks to a couple people, because I truly wouldn't be here today without them. So a special thank you to my family. Your guys' undying support has really helped me get here today. I want to say thank you to my amazing friends. You guys have continuously pushed me outside of my comfort zone in the best ways and helped me grow as a person. I want to thank all my teachers. I tried making a list, and I quickly realized the list was way too long and I could never fit it in the speech. So I decided to narrow it down to two that really stuck out. Unfortunately, neither of them are here today, but I still want to say a big thank you to Mr. Tompkins. He completely changed my life. I thought I wanted to be an engineer before I met him, and then he came along with this EMT class I was really skeptical about, and now I absolutely love the medical field. So thank you, Mr. Tompkins. And a thank you to Ms. Henderson, who isn't here. But she challenged me to look at things in a new light. She always told me, Nathan, you're so afraid of failing, and she wanted me to fail. And trust me, it was frustrating. Me and her had plenty of arguments. But eventually she got through to me, and I realized my biggest vice was my perfectionism, this desire to get everything perfect. And she helped me push through that and taught me to learn through failure. So now I decided I'm going to tell you guys a story. So the beginning of the school year was pretty hard for me, like it is for many of us. Of course, I had a very high course load. In fact, one I'm not even sure I was really supposed to take. But I refused to drop anything from my schedule. So I took it, and then of course I had college applications and some personal issues as well. And around this time, I made a really bad decision to just put my head down and keep plowing forward. And anytime something didn't go my way, I put my head a little further down and pushed forward a little harder. And unfortunately, it worked really well. And my entire goal in doing that was just to try to get the school year to pass. And it did. And about 3.5 months ago, I recall talking to Aiden after a Syracuse game, and I said, wow, we have 2.5 months left of school. And I mean, at the time, that seemed groundbreaking. Time really was flying. And unfortunately, those 2.5 months turned into a month, 2 weeks, a week, and then the last day. And the last day comes around, and I was already really grumpy in the morning. I'm not a morning person. And unfortunately, my mom was out of town, which meant I had to take my brother to school, which meant I had to get up extra early. But on the way to school, I started getting a little emotional. I expected to be a little emotional when the day came. Of course, you know, we've had so many great memories here. But I was expecting it maybe when the metaphorical bell rang and we all said goodbye, or maybe during the handshake ceremony. But I wasn't expecting it on the drive to school. And my brother was talking to me, and he said, Nathan, are you excited for your last day? And I just nodded my head. Benja, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I really couldn't say anything without getting emotional. And just as I dropped him off, I started thinking about my last day as a sophomore and my dad dropping me off at school for the last time. Just the small memories that I really grew to appreciate. And around this time, the memories started flooding in. So many amazing memories, so many amazing people. And it was like a movie, and it was amazing. It was incredible. All of our greatest moments. And kind of like now, I kind of lost it and began to cry a little. And at first, you know, I was saddened that this was all coming to an end. But as the memories continued to play out, the tears turned into happy tears, as I realized just how truly blessed I was to have all these amazing memories with so many amazing people. And this is when I realized my mistake. Sure, I made some great memories this year, but how many more could I have made if I had just adjusted my attitude? If I had chose to look at things differently and not let these bad things affect me so much? The takeaway from this story is life happens. All right, there's going to be things that don't go your way, but you can't let these things dictate how you go about your life. So, now this is the part I expected to give you, so I apologize in advance. I wanted to end this speech by reading this note. Now, I didn't even know this note existed until about 5 weeks ago when my dad found it in our drawer. And it's a note from my mom that she left for me before the first day of 8th grade. the first year I came here. And it reads, "Have a great day, you're super brave, and you have a fantastic year ahead. It's okay to be scared and uncertain. I love you." And I think this is something that we all can embrace. We have a lot of change coming up, going to college or going to the military, whatever you have planned. And there are going to be times where you're uncertain, whether you're uncertain of where you're going to be rooming, who you're going to be rooming with. There's a lot of things to be afraid about. But if there's one thing I learned this year, is that don't let that fear dictate who you are. Don't let that fear stop you from having fun and living your life to the best of it. Keep pushing, because on the other side of this fear and uncertainty, amazing things await all of you. Congrats, class of 2024, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. I'm glad I don't have to follow those speeches. It's now my pleasure to welcome the Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Fred Montage Jr., head of upper school.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Tim, for those amazing speeches. Great way to start off this evening. We've been doing Baccalaureate this way for a few years. And I've always appreciated, and this is my 22nd year now, that MPH is a place where students can be themselves and achieve their best. Today's gathering is a celebration of the class of 2024, a dynamic, energetic class whose members taught me a lot about what it means to serve students and meet their needs. Tonight, you will hear a testimonial read about each member of the class of 2024. We do this so that each member of the senior class can know that they are seen, they are recognized at MPH. As a student-centered school, it's only fitting that each student gets one more moment in the spotlight before they leave us. Today, they will have that moment. In the testimonials, almost as an afterthought, I hope, you will hear that some students have received awards. The testimonials themselves aren't summaries of the seniors' time at MPH, so they aren't comprehensive. They leave some details out. And just as the testimonials are inherently incomplete, the fact that some students won't receive an award is also incomplete. I'll share that when I was in high school, I didn't receive any awards. So to those of you who don't receive an award tonight, as I've said to the last few graduating classes, I will say this: you are my people. I stand with you in solidarity. I did some cool things in high school, was very happy where I went to college, loved it in fact. I've had a pretty good life since then, and I didn't get an award in high school. If you don't get an award, I understand you might feel some disappointment initially, but the award, or lack of one, does not and will not define you. Each of you has accomplished something an adult you know, including me, cannot do. You program, problem solve, create, collaborate, and are kind in ways that adults, in our sometimes narrow view of things, just aren't. Remember that, and continue learning and growing every day by doing and discovering things you enjoy doing. And know that at MPH, we saw you, we recognized you, and we will remember you. Before we go too far into the program, I want to acknowledge the steadfast and resolute service of Alice LeClaire as our Dean of Students over the last 11 years. In this role, Mr. LeClaire has devoted his care and attention to student needs, often during difficult and stressful moments. In my time as head of upper school, I could always count on Alex's support of our students and his recognition of ways forward through difficult circumstances. So thank you, Alex, for everything you've given to the role of Dean of Students, and we wish you a happy return to full-time teaching. In class of one. Now, a couple of logistical matters for this evening. Seniors, when you hear your name called, please stand to be acknowledged. You may be seated after the briefing is over. When you're congratulated at the end of the testimonial, please stand again for more applause. At the end of the ceremony, seniors, each of you has a gift bag over here in the front that you may retrieve from the tables close to the side or the front of the stage. Okay? To begin the presentation of this year's senior testimonials, under this next one here, please welcome John Oates, math teacher and senior class advisor.
Thank you, Fred, and good evening, everyone. The first student I'll read to you is about Azrael Anderson. Whether it's a Model United Nations committee or a team cheer, Azrael Anderson is ready to lead. If he'll rally his teammates, he'll happily don an Elf's cap or sport a Hawaiian shirt. And his voice is as dominant when he's cheering his teammates from the sidelines as when he's working the crowd from behind the microphone. Or, as Miss LaPointe puts it, Azrael is the rare guy who will both lead the pep rally and stay after to pick up all the stray balloons. He is a consummate team player, spirited and fearsomely loyal. Perhaps that's why he was considered a Model United Nations team dad. Although possibly it was because he fought his way through a Montreal City block's worth of protesters to find a lost underclassmen. I don't know, you can ask Miss Joe. Whether he is your mentor, teammate, track captain, or student council vice president, Azrael Anderson is someone you want on your side. He is capable of great thoughtfulness and great intensity, and he is a tireless advocate for his principles. Azrael graduates as a shirt wearer in Model United Nations. Congratulations, Azrael. Will Benedict. Sorry, the wind. All right, Will Benedict. If you saw Will sporting an ESF sweater this spring, you probably nodded in agreement, or even uttered, of course. Of course, Will will pursue cognitive science. He already does so much to make his environment rich and vital. Look at As his teacher, I value Oliver's ability and his willingness to reflect on his experiences, the positive, the negative, the mysterious ones, and articulate them in ways that facilitate growth in himself and others. Oliver's art and writing have been stunning and brave. Whether he is using his capstone to brainstorm ways to use artificial intelligence to modify learning plans for dyslexic students, having a conversation about how he might modify his stride to improve his performance as a runner and track captain, or using his art to see a penguin in a way that no one really has seen before. Oliver has a special knack for articulating his unique perspective and presenting it in a way that benefits his community. Thank you and congratulations to Oliver, who graduates with senior recognition. Skylar King. Mr. Zenko likes to say he wants students to stop asking, how much do I have to do until I'm done with this assignment, and start asking, how good can I possibly make this assignment? But Mr. Zenko hadn't taught Skylar King before. For Skylar, Mr. Zenko says, maybe just settle for really, really good, because if you let her, Skylar will revise an essay until its insights shine so bright you'll need sunglasses. If you don't give her a maximum page number on a creative writing assignment, expect a new novel on your bedside. Skylar leaps after learning opportunities like a dog chasing a squirrel. Even though she's the first one to raise her hand, and when you ask a difficult question, she'll seem to be the last one to have figured out that work isn't supposed to be fun. Then again, maybe work is fun. Skylar loves a good argument, and maybe she's trying to win this one without saying a word. Reading big books in your free time, writing elegant essays and stories, arguing about current affairs and MUN shirtwear, maybe that's the good life. A special thank you for helping us remember this goes to Skylar, our head scholar who graduates with highest honors in Spanish. Congratulations, Skylar. Piece of MPH student art that features several students from the graduating class, frozen in a classroom tableau that captures their character, a kind of last supper for the class of 2024. In that picture, Caroline Mezzalingua leans forward in her chair, her arms raised as straight as the MPH flagpole, her huge, brace-faced smile centering the whole photograph. Caroline Mezzalingua, this picture informs you, has done the homework. She has thoughts. She is ready for class. I suspect Caroline might be pleased to think this image captured her because to Caroline, the ability of art to captivate, capture, and challenge the human spirit is an article of faith. It's why she volunteers at the Everson and writes local journalism about art, a hobby that started with a volunteer column about religious art in her church bulletin. Caroline has made her mark in many ways at MPH over the years. On the tennis court, on the golf course, as a shirt wearer in MUN, in the Zonta Club. In fact, if you're inclined to look at Caroline's time here and the way she urges us to view a work of art, you might decide that her example captures the very heart of the MPH community. Congratulations, Caroline. Will Song. It might surprise some of you to know that Will Song has only been at MPH for 2 years, considering how many different sides of himself he showed to MPH in that time. He had a standout role in last year's fall play, Orlando, in which he played the lovelorn Archduke, Archduchess, a role that had him preening about the stage in a dress, in a wig in one moment, and flexing through deep-voiced, showboating monologues in the next. He has played on the basketball team and served as an elected student council rep. He is capable of being a team player and a generous friend, as when he hosted 2 of his MPH peers on a trip to China last summer. and anyone who has spotted him laboring alone in the weight room knows he is capable of intensity and independence. Less well known, perhaps, is Will's capacity for self-reflection. When a teacher asks him to revisit an assumption or an approach, he pivots with humility and tenacity. He is a person who both thinks before he raises his hand and raises his hand to answer questions no one else wants to tackle. In very little time, he left his mark on MPH. Congratulations, Will. Thatcher Thomas. Thatcher Thomas has a flair for the dramatic, as he showed in a memorable MUN speech delivered on occasion of a future war over the Sahara Desert in the year 2060, a speech he ended with an impassioned cry, "Send in the spies." But Thatcher also thrives in quiet moments, playing a game of chess in study hall with a classmate, fine-tuning his obsessively curated list of 25 greatest all-time movies, reading a book on the Russian Revolution while he waits for his turn at the campus ping pong table. In high intensity or low, Thatcher is able to bring rare thoughtfulness and poise to each moment, qualities he attributes to years spent watching his grandfather, a Greek immigrant who taught Thatcher how to stuff dolmadas, and achieve the grace under pressure needed to survive a shift in a busy family restaurant. Miss Quo has called this quality courage, which she has seen in Thatcher's willingness to take risks and venture into the challenge of Chinese class. Thatcher has brought this quality to countless discussions in and out of class at MPH, and he will have no doubt bringing it to wherever he goes next. Congratulations, Thatcher. Yami Vitusi. Whether he is chasing a soccer ball down the pitch, practicing his ping pong serve during the free period, or outlining an essay for English class, Yami Vitusi approaches everything he pursues with good humor and steadiness. As Ms. Nizam says, Yami is one of the hardest working students I've met in my 20-year teaching career. When he came to MPH in 10th grade, he brought tireless energy to my classroom and used every possible resource available to him to improve. Yami brings this work ethic along with his humor, loyalty, and generosity everywhere he goes. This dependability is one of Yami's signature characteristics, and he is no fair weather fan. If you want to find him after lunch, count on him to be playing a game of pickup soccer in the upper field. If he says he'll be at Spanish club, he'll be there, meeting after meeting, throwing himself into learning another of the many languages he speaks. And please, please, don't get him started on Manchester United. As a friend, a student, and a member of our community, Yami is someone you can count on. Congratulations, Yami.
Thank you, John. I'll assure you that we are safe under the tent. It is built to hurricane standards, so we are safe. And it's also grounded, so no worries there. So we're safe under the tent. Also, I was checking the radar. Most of the storm has passed. We should be fine for the rest of the evening. So we're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you. Now, please turn your attention to the left of the stage. I believe the string ensemble will be performing for us. Come on up, guys. was terrific. Now please welcome to the stage Willie Kuo, a Mandarin Chinese teacher, international student coordinator, and senior class advisor, who will read the next set of testimonials. Ms. Kuo.
Thank you, Fred, and good evening, everyone. I am gonna begin with Mira Fadakamre. Capable of stretching an extra few inches for her teammates. I'm sorry, I'm starting again. It's a bit of a risk mentioned Mira Fadakamre's famous tendency to break into laughter with her sister during serious situation in a moment like this. But as much as Mira is known for her good humor and occasionally giggliness, she is equally known for her maturity and poise. So we will assure she will get through this like the champ she is. Mira is a leader in her classroom and everywhere else you will find her. Whether she is creating MPH student DEI group or working with Zanta Club, as a goalie and friend, she is a born defender. For a principle she believes in. Capable of stretching an extra few inches for her teammates, or leaning into her tell it like it is directness to make sure everyone is lined up where they need to be. She is the type of student who comes in early to outline her papers with her English teacher, and she stays late to argue with that same English teacher about the political implications of a story. She is forceful, opinionated, and kind. Most impressive, perhaps, is her ability to chart her own course, whether that is picking the topic of her senior capstone or standing up for a principle she believes in. Congratulations, Mira, who graduates with the Class of 47 Excellence in Athletics Award. Alice Ng. Alice Ng's capstone was called Everybody Wants to Be a Playwright, and a dancer, and a teacher, and a doctor, and which is a perfect title for a student who seems to step into a new role with the gusto and panache of someone at a costume party. On stage, she has played a flirtatious Russian noblewoman, a smooth-talking girl crazy bro, a morbid and a sadistic but secretly big-hearted teenager, and an outspoken child being persecuted for witchcraft. In every role she takes on, she brings an electricity and a total commitment that make her instantly recognizable, even as she sinks into a completely new role. But Alice is no shapeshifter. The freedom she brings to each performance is grounded in a keen and hard-won sense of herself, her family, and her principles. One of the plays she wrote in the past year was about an escape room, and sometimes it feels like each new role, each new book, story, dance, language, or friendship she takes on is another puzzle box that she mastered by breaking out of it, so that she might step into a more expansive sense of herself. Alice graduates with the Delia Thomas Honors in English Award, the Renaissance Award for Excellence in the Performing Arts, and the Martha Here Citizenship Award. Congratulations, Alice. Guinness Howard. We all know that Omaya Guinness Howard demonstrates bravery, poise, and maturity on the dance floor, where she has been wowing the MPH community and the Syracuse community for years. For Mr. Jakonski, however, the true test of Omaya's moxie came when she was asked to ride a camel for the first time during last year's Qatar trip. While Omaya has spent countless hours practicing dance, she had spent 0 hours riding a camel. And yet, Mr. Jakonski reports that the white-knuckle bite-back the tears courage Omaya brought to that moment inspires him still. That, he says, was the moment I knew she could do anything. Omaya may not have done everything at MPH, but she seems committed to do everything she does well. With her pencil out and day planner in hand, she often knows teachers' syllabi better than they do. And her peers report that the motherly, occasionally stern energy she brings backstage during dance show both inspires younger performers and keep them in line. On the stage, on the soccer pitch, or in an Arabic class, Omaya brings a rare self-awareness and confidence to every new adventure. Omaya graduates with highest honor in dance, and we will like to wish Omaya a happy 18th birthday on Sunday. Next one, Zoe Gross. It's hard to imagine Zoe Gross doing a bad job at anything. She throws herself so hard, wholeheartedly, so selfishly in every task. Writing a play, running the campus shop, setting up a daring art show, building a stage set that even suggests she might do a bad job is to risk they will take it as a challenge. Zoe might do such a fantastically good job at badness the school would never recover. On stage, Zoe is the first to have her lines memorized and the last to leave after striking the set. She acts as a de facto assistant director, not just in every dramatic productions they are a part of, but basically in every situation. Zoe is the person who will make sure you have a ride, make sure you remember the homework, make sure you eat dinner. Odds are she is a better note taker than you, a better cook than you, and has been paying closer attention than you have. Not to rub it in, but she is probably nicer than you too. How else do you explain that Zoe, someone so dutiful and competent in everything they do, is not insufferable, but beloved by all who know her? Zoe graduated with seniority recognition, the Technical Theater Award, and the Dean Plaque for greatness contribution to school life. Congratulations, Zoe. Next one, I am a little confused because I know a student's team He. So I'm a Mandarin Chinese teacher, so it's hard for me to say Team He. So I'm gonna just say Team He. I hope that you understand it, my constraint here. Let's give the Team He applause. Whether he is clocking in the late hours, practice basketball at the park, leading a cross-country practice, or leaping through a calculus problem, Tim He brings a no-nonsense determination to succeed to all of his commitments. In fact, Tim is known for his intense focus, his ability to narrow his attention to fit the exact size of his ambitions, which for long stretches of his high school career have been centered on hoops and kilts. His track team, Mr. Toomey Smith, describes a student dedicated to the part of the sport he plays, putting in an extra hours working on high knees or the arc of his three-point shot. Tim is always looking for new ways to up his game. His capstone was on the power of using habits to direct behavior and increase performance, and he used his own life as a laboratory for self-improvement. For years, he would be found refining himself in math game after school or during tutorial, or hunched over a pile of textbooks in the corner of student lounge, using the design skills he learned as a programmer and artist to fine-tune his schedule. As a basketball player, a cross-country and track runner, or as the lead cheerleader for all things calculus, Tim has stood out. Congratulations, Tim. Sabrina Loop. You probably won't be surprised to learn that Sabrina Loop is a major Taylor Swift fan. But you may be surprised to learn that to throngs of adoring lower schoolers, Sabrina is essentially Taylor Swift. Preschoolers scream with mad glee when she enters a room. Of course, she plans to pursue elementary education. If you have a child in lower school, Sabrina ran your son to the nurse in her arms after his first bee sting. Sabrina guided your daughter's fingers into her first pair of scissors. She gently took the rock from your child's hand and said, "No, we don't throw that. That is not a safe choice." Sabrina is also a fearsome competitor on the softball field and the tennis court, where she was a double sessional champion this year. She is a veteran dancer, a devoted dog owner, a creative writer, and a loyal friend. In fact, it is tempting to say Sabrina is so much more than the budding teacher our lower schoolers see at the head of the classroom, but really, her first qualification for the job of growing our children into rich, interesting, and caring people is that she has become one herself. For her kindness and her work, nourishing the kindness of the youngest in our community, Sabrina graduates with Martha Here's Citizenship Award. Gabriella Range. Anecdotal evidence exists that Gabriella Range was once a shy ninth grader, someone who sat in the back of class with her head down, only speaking when spoken to. Whether you can find anyone at MPH to believe this anecdotal evidence is another story. Probably most of us are more familiar with the Gabby who stands at the front of the stage, ruffling off a whimsical monologue as the star of Orlando, or trading Elizabethan insults as Beatrice, the star of Much Ado About Nothing, or lapsing into an impromptu tango as Gomez, star of the Addams Family. Interestingly, all of these plays are also ensemble pieces, but that is another one of Gabby's gifts. Her star turns lift everyone around her. She might break the curve as she literally did time and again in her AP Stats class. But her standout performances also pull everyone around her into a higher plane. It was no surprise that her senior capstone on Jazz Dance had a moment where she gave another performer, an underclassman, a moment to shine while performing Gabby's choreography. Gabby's virtuosic performances feel generous, like invitations, and MPH has been lucky to have a seat at the show for the last 4 years. Gabby graduates with the highest honors in theater and the Charles W. Bradley Honors in Mathematics Award. Nathan Rubin. Nathan loves stories. If he is writing a history paper, an English paper, or a capstone presentation, he is looking for the moment he can push past the noise of facts and dates and find the human pressure points, the passions and the prejudice that make history coalesce into a recognizable narrative arc. But it is Nathan's ability to do this with people, to look past preconceptions and see with empathy, that distinguishes him as a leader. As Ms. Mamon says, Nathan has a self-deprecation that keeps him grounded. He has a unique ability to bridge divides and foster connections between groups with differing perspectives. Whether Nathan is fine-tuning a proposal as a student council president, teaching MPH faculty how to do CPR, or showing preschoolers around the ambulance where he works as an EMT, Nathan brings a delicacy and warmth to all his interactions. Because Nathan is intelligent, it is tempting to chalk this up to diplomatic cunningness, to argue that Nathan is a good politician. Maybe the truth is simpler. Nathan has many accomplishments or are underwritten by the fact that he is kind and sincere. Congratulations, Nathan. Abe Solomon. Abe Solomon knows what he likes. He likes a good laugh with his friends, and he likes a good steak. Preferably one cooked by him in the way his dad taught him, or if possible, sous vide. In the way that he taught himself over the past year, he likes math class. Integration problems, Mr. Oak's reports, are among his favorite. And he likes Chinese class, where he works with persistence and tenacity, even though the language doesn't come to him as easily as, say, physics. Mr. Japonski said that having Abe in AP Mechanics this year was like having another teacher I could bounce ideas off of. He was an eager learner and always willing to ask questions and thrive for understanding, not just answers. Abe can be reflective as he pushes himself into a stronger game, whether that is in a goalie box on the soccer field or on tennis court. and he can be bold too. Whether he is raising his hand to volunteer for a public speaking exercise or going big with a white tux on prom night. He approaches his pursuits with a spirit of gusto and enthusiasm, a belief that enjoying the journey can be as important as any destination. Congratulations, Abe. Scott Zucker. Scott Zucker contains multitudes. At a given moment, you might find him sketching graphic commissions in his art nook, trying to decide whether he loves or hates his weekend job at Unplugged Gaming, penning a dramatic backstory for a D&D character, or breaking the fourth wall as he hams it up with the audience on the MPH stage. You might say he wears many hats, except that he doesn't. Scott is a one hat at a time guy, which makes sense in its own way, because even as Scott piles on the extra curriculum activities, Scott is invariably, unmistakably himself. Authenticity for Scott is a process, a choice, and an adventure he embarks upon with his closest friends in tow. In his life and in his art, which has won National Scholastic Awards and been featured at the Everson Museum, he takes real risks and earns for himself a singular wisdom. Is Scott Zucker right for MPH? Was Nasha right for Drummerman? Were the 80s right for the drum machine? Scott graduates with the highest honors in visual arts and the Punchinello Drama Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Will. Our next musical interlude is performed by our MPH vocal ensemble. Please come forward. That was great. I feel like blowing some bubbles. All right, I'd like to now introduce Mr. Jason Zemka, English teacher and senior class advisor and 12th grade key leader, who will read the last PI senior testimony.
Thank you, Fred, and good afternoon. I'm so pleased to read these narratives for this wonderful group of seniors. Let's begin with Emily Feather-Conry. Emily Feather-Conry is steady as she goes. As Mr. Jakonski noted, Emily fought her way through chemistry and breezed through physics, but her attitude toward learning never changed. She was ready for any challenge and always an eager learner. When she wants to jump down a rabbit hole, Emily is capable of a headlong, deep focus that allows her to scale ambitious and academic and social hurdles with what looks like ease, as when she researched AlphaFold for her capstone project, or when she corralled leaders from different grade levels to develop the club Volunteers in Action, or when she made an Instagram senior college page, or a college decision page, not because someone appointed her or even asked her to, but because it was a cool thing to do. If you have a cool thing that needs doing, Emily is your person. She is responsible, she is capable, and she is kind. And she can do things. She possesses the boldness, the initiative, and the daring do to make her a nationally recognized visual artist, a soccer captain, one of the team's lead scorers, and a leader on the volleyball team. Emily will lay out for her teammates or friends. She will find a way to the goal. Emily graduates with the Class of 47 Excellence in Athletics Award and highest honors in science. Congratulations. John Delisto. So different folks may have different favorite John Delisto moments. The time he wowed the crowd with a celebratory backflip on the soccer pitch, for instance, or the way he shakes his teacher's hand upon greeting them each day. For my part, I prefer the time John performed a comedy show for preschoolers as part of my funny books class. John's part in the show was to wear an Iron Man mask and let a preschooler, my 4-year-old son in this case, pretend to punch him, at which point he threw himself backwards, flopping with a melodramatic gusto he would never, ever use in a soccer game. I can't explain rationally why this was an A+ joke, but I can tell you he got the laughs. I can also tell you that this silly gesture captures much about what makes John special. His willingness, for example, to throw himself, literally here, into any activity, whether that's revising an essay, keeping time in the percussion section, helping run Spanish club, or watching football. Or maybe it's the fact that John's commitment seems to stem from a deep generosity, a sense of exuberant decency that John brings to every interaction. John graduates with the James W. Songster Award for Best Realized Academic and Extracurricular Potential. Congratulations, John. Raphael Jennings. Time and again, Raphael Jennings has proved his resourcefulness, his creativity, and his dependability. As a performer, Rafa has been a pillar of the MPH dance community for years. As a junior and senior, Rafa directed some of that creative energy into his writing. He regularly emceed MPH's poetry coffee houses, and the stories he wrote about young people discovering themselves in Columbia and Miami dazzled the members of the Literary Art Society on a near weekly basis. Rafa's own efforts to challenge and express himself flowered into new ways for MPH to challenge and express its core principles. As he spearheaded blood drives, started community initiatives, or chartered the school's student DEI committee. In a classroom discussion, Rafa's raised hand drew the attention and respect of his peers. Students and teachers know that they can count on Rafa to be thoughtful, to be prepared, and to lead with empathy. In scholarship, in leadership, and friendship, his example to his community was simultaneously a challenge and the warmest of invitations. Rafa graduates with seniority recognition, the Spirit of Dance Award, and the Jack Wells 60B School Service Award, recognizing those who have given greatly to MPH in time, spirit, and service. Congratulations. Annie Kim. So Annie Kim has lived all over the world, so it shouldn't be a surprise that she arrived in central New York and hit the ground running. And yet, even by the standards of cosmopolitan world travelers, it's impressive how quickly and how deeply Annie Kim weaved her way into the social fabric of her class. If you spot her walking through the hallway flanked by friends, or doubled over with laughter on the couch of her advisory, you get the sense of someone in their native element among other people. Someone who not only feels comfortable in her own skin, but who has the rare gift of making other people comfortable in theirs. In the classroom, Annie is quick to offer sincere opinion on a text or a question. She's attentive to her environment and to her role in it, something on display in her capstone about how music affects cognitive performance. As an accomplished flautist, Annie has learned to balance the experience that comes with years of practice with the ability to pivot, to listen, to play it by ear. In very little time at all, she's made it hard to imagine the class of 2024 without her. Congratulations, Annie. Molly Mahoney. It's a testament to Molly Mahoney's grit and largeness of spirit that some of her biggest victories seem to come at moments when she's laboring in the background. Molly is not showy about her leadership. She's merely effective. As an athlete, Molly weathered ups and downs, and still she managed to be, according to Miss Bentley Hope, one of the best soccer captains she's had in her whole career. Molly knows her teammates, and she knows herself, and she's willing to be tough on both and generous to both in equal measure. She's led many organizations and initiatives at MPH, like Zonta Club, where she modeled an open-eyed sense of curiosity, responsibility, and initiative. As Ms. Foster says, the world will encounter in Molly a willing, capable, and determined person who shifts their understanding of experiences and subsequently their behavior to more closely align with their ethics. In other words, Molly cares enough to pay attention, both to the world and to her role in it. When she doesn't live up to her expectations, she decides to do better. When the world doesn't live up to her expectations, she decides to do better. Molly graduates with the Jack Wells 60B Service Award, recognizing those who have given greatly to MPH in time, spirit, and service. Congratulations. Dahlia Nemish. In our advisory pie-making contest, the vast majority of entries were apple with an occasional pumpkin or cherry. Dahlia Nemish made an eggnog pie, which is a thing, apparently. An unexpected flavor, well-made, which notched her a victory in her part of the bracket. But Dahlia charting her own course is nothing new. She's comfortable being the lone hand raised in a classroom, offering a thoughtful or novel take on a challenging text. When she heard my wife and I speaking Spanish to our son after school, she sprinted over to us with a big smile on her face, asking, "Hablan español?" like someone joining a pickup soccer game. Dahlia spent her junior year studying in Spain, which seems in retrospect like a classic Dahlia move. It's bold, it's unexpected, and it works because of the trust she has in herself and her own instincts. The fact that this trust is evidence-based is no knock on Dahlia either. Mr. Jablani has noted that with her inquisitive mind, broad perspective, and thorough research, Dahlia is already a historian. In other words, Dahlia knows how to look at the record and draw sensible conclusions, so of course, after years of thriving in MUN, tennis, as a track captain, and all manner of academics, Dahlia would responsibly infer that she can do anything. Dahlia graduates with the Bernard Shaw Award in History. Congratulations, Dahlia. Lance Ogden. For a lucky few of us in the MPH community, Stevie Wonder is notable for headlining the second most iconic performance of Sir Duke. The most iconic performance undoubtedly goes to Lance Ogden, who on a day that most seniors were enjoying their high school retirement, returned to campus to answer the call of a visiting musician to jam with him in front of the whole school. It was a bold move for Lance, but Lance has been quietly building confidence for years now as he has moved toward mastery in multiple disciplines. As an instrumentalist, a programmer, a linguist, and a mathematician, Mr. Oates reports that Lance is a natural calculus student. There's an elegance Mr. Oakes says to the way Lance balances efficiency with thoroughness. He manages to find that Goldilocks just right way to the solution of the most difficult problems. And in an English class or role-playing game, Lance can take a straight, unexpected line into the heart of a character he's studying. Here, as elsewhere, Lance's directness begins to look a lot like bravery. He's teaching himself to veer toward the truth, whether it's beautiful or challenging when others would look away. Lance graduates with honors in classics. Carter Patton. Carter Patton is always authentically himself, which is lucky for us because in the past few years, who Carter is has pivoted and transformed on a monthly basis as he tried his hand at new activities. As a junior, he started reading stories shyly at MPH's poetry coffee houses, and by senior year, he was a powerhouse fiction writer, someone who churned out inventive and witty fantasies and dystopias on a near weekly basis for the Literary Art Society. This spring, he went from audience member to full-on romantic lead in the spring musical, where he proved that he was not only crazier than all of us, but more adventurous too. And yet, even as he tried on new pastimes, some features of Carter remain constant. Mr. Oakes, who supervises Carter in Magic the Gathering Club, says that Carter is an unapologetic Timmy, which apparently means that Carter's playing style is marked by big, bold moves that lean into the sheer enjoyment of the game, which sounds a lot like Carter anywhere. Whether he's cracking a joke, playing the mallet cat, offering a shrewd observation about a novel, or a spirited defense of the ethical depth of his favorite video game, Carter is throwing down big moves and reminding the rest of us how fun the game can be. Carter graduates with the David Bonner Award recognizing versatility and dedication in music, and the James W. Songster Award for Best Realized Academic and Extracurricular Potential. Congratulations. Jeffrey Piscarino. There's a back-slapping, cheerful magnanimity to the way Jeffrey Piscarino walks through the school, so much so you might wonder what office he's running for. But Jeffrey's not running for office, he's just that happy to see you. He's the mayor of Jeffreytown, where he serves on the welcoming committee and he takes his job very seriously. As Ms. Mamone says, with his trademark, laid-back attitude, Jeffrey can make even the most stressful situations feel lighthearted. His warmth and his confidence are infectious, traits that younger students gravitate toward and expressly admire. Underneath Jeffrey's good-natured warmth, there's a commitment to honesty and to authenticity. Jeffrey knows what he likes: sports, gambling, technology, the Wu-Tang Clan, and he stands by these things, just as he stands by his teammates, whether he's captaining the soccer team, the basketball team, playing golf, or serving on MUN, where Mr. Blaney says Jeffrey was the spirit of the team since freshman year. Direct, straight-talking and gregarious, Jeffrey brings the volume up on the warmth and brightness in every room he's in. Congratulations to Jeffrey, who graduates with seniority recognition. Congrats, Jeffrey. Aiden Whitted. Aiden Whitted has thoughts. In class, the cafeteria, or the student lounge, you might see him at the center of a gaggle of boys who are soaking up wisdom as Aiden holds forth on sports, politics. With his ferocious confidence and his telegenic grin, you might assume Aiden is readying himself for a spot as a talking head on CNN or ESPN. But Aiden's curiosity, passion, and deep commitment to understanding the complexities and nuances of any subject means that his engagement is anything but trite. Whatever academic world he inhabits, Aiden wants to peel back the layers of the intellectual onion. He test drives each new opinion, kicking the tires on his own assumptions and taking counterpoints out for a spin before modifying his own positions. Aiden devours complex philosophical readings and math theorems in equal measure, and he brings the same vitality and commitment to the soccer field and basketball court where he was a captain, and Model UN where he was a shirt wearer. Aiden graduates with seniority recognition and the Class of 47 Excellence in Athletics Award. Congratulations, Aiden.
Thank you, Jason. Let's give one more round of applause for all our remarkable seniors. For our final musical interlude, please welcome to the stage members of the Bluegrass Fiddle Club, who will perform a selection of folk tunes led by Mr. Ted Curtis. Come on up. Thank you. That was great. Thanks, guys. Now, as we near the end of this evening's program, I want to take a moment to thank several people who made it possible. Mike Longman, Matt McCrimmon, Patrick Kondo, and Gordy Means for arranging, maintaining, and troubleshooting this space, preparing the grounds for campus grounds for this weekend's events. Katie Ray for producing the program. The teachers who contributed to the narratives, as you heard throughout the narratives that were read, and Jason Zenker for putting them all together. Thank you to Juhi LaHaye, Kayla Point, and Kim Leibowitz for putting together the gift bags for each graduating senior. And I want to give a special thank you to Juhi LaHaye for her unparalleled depth of care as she constantly thinks about and more importantly, does what's best for the class. Let's give them all a very round of applause. Now I'd like to ask Jim Foley to announce the final recognition this evening.
My pleasure to talk about the Jordan Family Recognition. The Jordan Family Recognition was established by former longtime MPH educators Laura and Ed Jordan to acknowledge faculty and staff who have shown outstanding loyalty and commitment to the excellence of instruction at Manly's Pebble Hill throughout their many years of service to the school and community. It gives me extraordinary pleasure to invite you to join me in congratulating Sarah Shablani on 10 years of service to MPH. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you all for joining us here on campus this evening. Seniors, remember to collect your gift bags to the left of the stage, on the tables here. We will see you again on Sunday for commencement. Seniors, please be here by 12:45 on Sunday. What time? 12:45. Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.